Hey gang, welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel. I'm Wolfe, and today we're going to be talking about Boulder, Colorado. And we're going to be asking ourselves the question, is it worth it to move to Boulder, Colorado in 2026? Let's dive in. So, Boulder is still going to rank right now amongst the top places to live in the whole country. So the big question we're going to ask ourselves, is that still true in 2026? Well, Boulder still has a sterling reputation. It's beautiful, it's lush, it's got a really cool pace of life, it's got just a really unique feel, and it's got that small town feel relative to the big city of Denver. People really seek after that. The lifestyle here is exactly what you expect. A little slower pace, a little more focused on outdoor living, a little more focused on sustainability, and it's not going to have that big city buzz. You're going to have the Boulder bubble here, that little bit of a separation. So nothing's really changed from that perspective. People are still getting what they pay for and getting what they expect when they move to Boulder. The job market in 2026 remains strong and remains optimistic. The fields of tech, healthcare, finance, people who are looking for innovation-focused careers, and people who are looking to work remotely really make Boulder a stronghold and a destination, a place to be. Those are one of the fields you're working in. There's not really a ton of better markets out there, especially when you balance in lifestyle with the economic opportunities. So Boulder remains a very strong job market. The cost of living is still high, and it is still increasing, though it's increasing slowly. We're not seeing the same levels of things like groceries, dining, eating out. All of those things are going to be a little bit more expensive here, though it is not growing at quite the same rate. It's not having the same level of appreciation and cost as other cities are. The housing market, on the other hand, is still continuing to see really strong appreciation. It's flattened out relative to what Boulder saw in previous years, but it is certainly outpacing most of Colorado and most of the entire country in growth, even in these slightly topsy-turvy, more unpredictable economic times we're seeing here. Boulder's been very resilient to the flattening effect that we've seen throughout the country, and even some of the recession we've seen in certain markets, given the high interest rates here. So why is that happening? Well, Boulder still moves very, very quickly. There's not a ton of homes in the market. Inventory remains tight, but demand still remains very strong. So homes do tend to move very quickly. You can do yourself a huge, huge favor by just being prepared. Connect early when you're considering Boulder, Colorado, with a really strong, locally experienced agent that knows the Boulder market, and also connect with a really strong local lender that can help you out and make sure that you are pre-approved in good time, nice and early, so that when you do find that perfect home, go with your realtor partner and find it, make sure it's a great fit, and then we can connect with your lender partner and make sure we have all the documentation together so we can write a good, strong offer for you, because the market's not going to wait on you. It moves very, very quickly. It's a very, very sought after place, and it can be done. It just takes a little bit of planning, a little bit of preparation, and working with a great local agent that's going to lend you their expertise. So while home prices have not been severely impacted by the increased interest rates that we've seen in other parts of the country, it does impact your monthly affordability. So we want to make sure we're very strategic. Even small little cuts in interest rate can really impact your long-term expenses and your monthly costs. We want to make sure we're being strategic there. There's lots of ways we can try to work and massage those interest rates down a little bit, both as the buying side agent, to make sure we're trying to secure perhaps some sort of seller concession towards a rate buy down, or even just making sure we're strategizing on what we buy, maybe looking at something that's assumable. On the loan side, I'm going to stay in my lane on that, but make sure you're connecting with your lender to have a good, strong strategy in place to make it the monthly affordability as good as possible, and obviously that also impacts the long-term cost of your house. So the more we can massage those rates down and take advantage of them trending in the right direction, the better. So why does the cost of housing stay high in Boulder, even though we've seen it flatten or even recede a little bit in some markets? Well, it's basic supply and demand, right? There's just not as many homes in the market that matches up with the high level of buyer demand that we're seeing here in Boulder. And there's a lot of things that contribute to that. A big one is people move here and stay. There's not as much transitional movement here, moving into Boulder and then out to a different city right away. People tend to find a home here and stay and like it. So if you're leaving Boulder, it's likely for maybe a job relocation or some sort of family relocation, something like that. People don't tend to leave Boulder to move up their lifestyle. Boulder's very, very sought after, so people camp here and stay here. And there's also not a ton of new development, right? So the city and county of Boulder has pretty tight restrictions on how much new building they allow to get done. They want to make sure that anything that is built is done in a sustainable and economically friendly, environmentally friendly way. And they're also not going to let too much building go on, or a style of building go on that's going to distract from the amazing natural beauty that Boulder has. It's one of the biggest features the city has, and they're going to protect that. And they're also going to protect the environmental impact that the residents have on the surrounding area. So because of those things do get built here, but they're built strategically and they're built effectively to make sure they're incorporating into the community and not just expanding it right away. So those are a couple of things that lead to the cost of homes being higher in Boulder, even through a more difficult economic time like we're seeing right now. But again, strategy can overcome all of those boundaries and make sure that you're putting it in the right place in Boulder, Colorado, where you want to be. Rental trends from an investment perspective are pretty solid in Boulder as well. You know, again, supply and demand, Boulder does stay high. It is a highly sought after place for people to live, but also the campus there at CU Boulder does maintain a pretty steady influx of renters that are going to want to live in Boulder, but can't or don't want to have a long-term purchase of a home. They want to take advantage of renting there during their college career. So if you're looking at an investment perspective, rents are pretty good here. They're not cruising up at the same level they were a few years ago, but they are staying steady and increasing in certain areas. So if you are looking for an investment perspective, Boulder's strong there as well. Or if you're looking to come here and rent for a while before you buy, that's another great way to explore different neighborhoods, explore the community feel, make sure Boulder's the right fit before you make that larger investment of buying a home. Another big reason why people move here is the weather and the climate. It's probably the worst kept secret in America now that Colorado at large and certainly Boulder are not a big, snowy wasteland here in the wintertime. It's actually pretty darn gorgeous year round. We get 300 plus days of sunshine every single year. You get all 4 seasons. You really get to experience the great nature and the great serene beauty around Boulder it has to offer because of the climate. So it's a really great place to live. You're going to get all the seasons, but it's going to be drop dead gorgeous year round. Just keep a jacket in your car for the occasional snow and keep sunglasses in your car for the bright, bright sun, and you're going to be taken care of. All right, so the community vibe of Boulder is going to be very, very interesting. Obviously, you have a lot of long-term Boulder residents. You have families that have handed homes down for generations. You have a good influence of people who are like moving to Colorado to live in Denver or work in Denver but choose to make their home in Boulder. And you have the college bringing in a steady influence every single year of people from all walks of life, all over the country, all over the world, all different ages are really going to add in a bunch of unique factors to the cultural and community vibe that Boulder has to offer. Some things to stay consistent though. It's pretty eco-friendly and pretty conscious of the environment and the impact that the city has on it. So it's going to have a ton of great initiatives to make sure that we're maintaining that around it. It's generally speaking a very highly educated community. It's got a very, very high percentage of residents that are going to be college educated and maintain degrees, and people are generally speaking very active in their community. They're very conscious politically, environmentally, economically. They're very, very conscious of the impact they have here, and they want to make sure that Boulder continues to be an awesome place to live. So take advantage of that culture, whether you move here to long-term buy, whether you're looking at it from an investment perspective or looking to rent first. Immerse yourself in the culture here, see what the vibe is like, make sure it's a good fit. But if you are a person who likes outdoor lifestyle, an engaged community, an educated population, I can't see how you could go wrong by living in Boulder. Okay, so we talked about a lot of good stuff, guys. Let's talk about who might struggle here. So if you're a person who's really looking for that big city feel, that constant urban movement, that pulse-like environment you might feel in a city like Denver, Boulder may not be the best fit, right? It has a lot of big city amenities. It's got a lot of cultural opportunities. It's got a really, really strong culture on its own right. It's going to have a tighter knit community feel. If affordability is going to be your top interest, Boulder is a challenge, right? Housing is more expensive, like we talked about, but also the cost of living generally is higher. Gas, groceries, going out to eat, all those things that aren't free, like going out and going on a hike, are a little bit pricier in Boulder. So make sure you're factoring that into your overall decision. But if you were someone that's comfortable with the investment economically, that wants to take advantage of a really tight-knit community and really loves the outdoors and loves having beautiful scenery around you, Boulder is going to be an awesome destination for you in 2026. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me today. I'm really excited to make all these videos and engage with you guys online, but I'd love to connect more person. So give me a phone call, give me a text, give me an email, even just leave a comment below and I'll make sure I'll get back to you. I really love engaging with you guys directly. So great to hear from you again. Everyone have a great day. We'll talk again soon.